Move on to punctuations. So punctuations are signs that help us to make our writings meaningful and clear, because in writing the person wouldn't know whether you want to ask a question or make a statement, but the use of the punctuations would help the person know when to pause, when a person, and the person should perceive when the speaker's tone is up or down. Okay, so the punctuations in a way directs the way we write and help those who are also reading to better understand whatever thing has been put in writing. So we have a number of punctuation, and I know you are very familiar with them. I'll just give you some here, then examples. So we have end marks. So end marks are the ones that come after the sentence or at the end of the sentence. Then we have non-sentence end marks. That one can be in the middle or anywhere. Okay, so the end marks, we have full stop, we have question mark, we have exclamation mark. Then for the non-sentence end marks, we have comma, we have colon, we have semicolon, we have apostrophe, we have quotation marks, we have ellipsis. So full stops, basically they come at the end of statements and can be used in abbreviations. Yes, so she is beautiful, full stop, it's a statement abbreviation. Mrs. So you write MRS, then you bring full stop to indicate that it is an abbreviated form of a longer word. Okay, then we have question marks, basically to ask question. So you bring at the end of a construction to ask a question. Then exclamation mark, it's used when you want to express our emotion. So use at the end of a construction that expresses or evokes emotions. Then we have comma. Comma is used to separate items in series. Okay, so I bought a number of things. I bought a book, I bought a pen, comma, I bought eraser, comma, and the likes. Then we have colon. Colon precedes comma. So when you want to list a number of things in series, you bring the colon before you start listing. So I went to the market and bought a number of things. They are colon. Okay, the two dots, colon, before you start listing the items, then you bring the comma. Then we have semicolon, and semicolon is used in place of coordinating conjunction. So an example is, take mother's suitcase upstairs, colon, semicolon. Semicolon is the dot or the full stop, then the comma. So take mother's things upstairs, leave that in the car. Okay, so you can see that take mother's suitcase upstairs and leave that things in the car, but in place of and we've brought semicolon. Okay, then we have apostrophe when we want to indicate possession. So Ahmed's bag, Kofi's bag, apostrophe s. Okay, then with the ellipsis. Ellipsis is when you omit a word or a group of words in a construction, but the omission shouldn't affect the meaning of the sentence. So example, I am so interested in reading because of its numerous benefits. Then I bring the sign for ellipsis. Ellipsis is 3 dots, 1, 2, 3. So it shouldn't be more than that. I am so interested in reading because of its numerous benefits. Then you bring your 3 dots. However, I cannot read this book. So it means that you've omitted some words, but those words are not even affecting the meaning of the construction or what you want to say. Okay, so these are just few of the punctuation, and they are the ones we commonly use. So you'd want to pay attention. Then we also have quotation mark when you want to quote someone. So example, she exclaimed, comma, you are lovely. So I'm quoting the direct words of the person. She exclaimed, comma, you are lovely. Then you bring the quotation marks so that the person will know that these are the direct words from the speaker. Okay, yes. Then let's go to spellings. There's no way I can teach you spelling, but in our time and era, we have this default spelling on our phones, so sometimes you might think that but you don't know anything. You give dictations to university students, and some people score as low as 2/10. So you have to pay attention to your spelling. Don't assume that you know everything because your phones have been aiding and helping you in your spellings. Okay, sometimes you'd have to cross-check and know. And since English, we borrowed from a number of countries, sometimes a word would have a French background, so if you are not enlightened about that, you might go and spell it differently. So a word like lieutenant, someone will go and spell lieutenant as Left because of left. No, but it's a French word and it's spelled as Lieutenant, lieutenant, but it's lieutenant because of its French background. So we have words like remembrance. So from remember, you might write remember, then you add ANCE, but rather there is no E after the B for remembrance. So it's REMEMBRANCE. Okay, so there is no E after the B. We have words like lightning. Some are likely to bring E, but we are looking at lightning. So when it's about to rain, probably there are lightning in the sky. So lightning, it has no E, not to lighten the skin. Some people don't know. We have pronunciation. Some people spell it as pronunciation. It's not NOUN, it's NUNCIATION. We have abbreviation, double B. We have omission, 1M, double S. We have committee, double M, double T, double E. We have mnemonic. It's MNO, okay, MEMONIC, okay, but since the M is silent, you might think that it's MEMONIC, mnemonic, but you should pay attention to some of these silent letters. We have stationery for books, pens, and those things. Some people will write stationery and would bring A instead of E, so it's E. Then we have definitely there is no A, it's I, DEFINITELY. We have library. Someone would just bring one R, library, but we have double. Then we have conscience. Someone will bring S and not C. Would have argument. So from argue, someone would bring E, but in argument there is no E after the U, so it's ARGUMENT, not ARGUEMENT. Then we have referee, one R, double E. Then we have misspelling, double S, not just one S. So we have paragraph writing, then comprehension and summary, and I believe you already know. So one thing to keep in mind is that a good paragraph should have these three qualities: unity, cohesion or coherence, then completeness. So a good paragraph should be a UCC paragraph: unity, cohesion or coherence, then completeness. Okay, then we have topic sentence. We have minor and major supporting sentences. So topic sentence mostly comes as the first sentence, okay, that introduces the paragraph. So it will give you the general idea what the paragraph is all about. Then we have major supporting sentence. The major supporting sentence would directly explain what the topic sentence is. Then the minor supporting sentence would directly explain the major supporting sentence. So I'll give you an example here. The discovery of oil in Ghana in commercial quantities is a blessing to all. First, it has produced employment opportunities for many skilled professionals such as engineers, accountants, and managers, as well as many unskilled workers such as laborers and cleaners, are gainfully employed in the various oil drilling companies. Okay, so you break this paragraph down, so you realize that the paragraph is about oil in Ghana. So we are looking at the benefits of oil in Ghana. The first, that's the topic sentence. So the entirety of the paragraph would revolve around the blessing of oil in Ghana. And the first one says that it has provided employment opportunities. So this one becomes the major supporting detail or the major supporting sentence to the topic sentence. It is explaining what the topic sentence is about. Then we have minor detail like many. So the major one is it has provided employment opportunities for many people. Then the third sentence says that many skilled professionals, such as engineers, accountants and managers, as well as unskilled workers such as laborers and cleaners, are gainfully employed in the various oil drilling company. So you realize that this sentence is directly explaining the employment, so it becomes a minor supporting sentence to the major supporting. It's explaining the employment opportunities, not the blessings. So though generally we are talking about the blessings of oil, the third sentence is directly modifying or directly explaining the first major sentence. So when you go through your slides, we have a number of passages, about 3 or 4 of them. So you try your hands on and get probably a TA at the department to explain things to you. Then we have comprehension and summary. So from our previous knowledge in SHS, comprehension and summary, you read your passage, then you know that each paragraph is talking about an idea. So after reading the passage, you go to your question, you read the question, then you go back to the passage. So having a knowledge of what the questions are about, you go to the passage again, you underline areas where you're likely to find the answers to. So in order for you to excel in comprehension, you have to read a lot, read wide, okay, get words in there, because you can be tested on literary devices, simile, personification, those things. Then the content questions, so you'll be asked to probably give an answer to whatever passage you've been given to, okay. So you just have to break the passage down. It can be lengthy, but break the passage down into the various paragraphs. Every paragraph is tackling an idea. Then you are good to go. When you get to know the idea each paragraph is tackling, you are likely to know the answers, where to get the answers from. And at the university, it's not likely for you to get content or direct answers. Sometimes you just have to infer. The answers might not be explicitly stated. So Kofi went to Akosombo. Where did Kofi go to? So it's not Akosombo, because sometimes they will try to test you whether you are really critical in your thinking. So the answer wouldn't be stated directly, so it has to infer from the words in the passage to get your answer. Yeah, so ambiguity basically means uncertainty, but when we come to language, it's basically the uncertainty that comes about as a result of the use of language or the use of words. So ambiguity means uncertainty that arises from the use of words to convey thought. So basically, when a construction is said to be ambiguous, then it means that that construction has more than one interpretations. So the one at the recipient end or the receiving end will not be so clear as to what the speaker wants to convey. Hence, the person will try to draw your attention to what you are talking about or what you mean. So example, when someone says, I have a lovely pen. Anyone who has a knowledge of the two meanings pen communicates would want to clarify as to whether is it a place where animals are kept or the pen for writing. So the presence of the word pen is making the whole construction ambiguous, because we can derive more than one meaning from it. Yes, so we have intentional ambiguity and unintentional ambiguity. So intentional ambiguity is when the speaker knows that whatever thing he or she is trying to convey to another person is ambiguous. So the speaker already knows that his words or his expressions carry more than one meaning, yet still the person decides to go forward with it because the person wants to achieve a particular impact on the recipient. But we have unintentional ambiguity. That's when the speaker has no knowledge that whatever thing he or she is trying to convey has more than one meaning. Hence, it is acting as a communication barrier because the one at the recipient end or the receiving end has no knowledge as to what the true intent of the speaker is. So we'll move on to the types of ambiguity. We have 4 types. We have lexical ambiguity, categorical ambiguity, conceptual ambiguity, then structural ambiguity. So the lexical ambiguity, our knowledge from lexical items in word classes would help us know that a lexical item is a word that can stand on its own and make sense. Okay, so when we are saying we have lexical ambiguity, it means that that particular construction is ambiguous, and the ambiguity is as a result of a presence of just one lexical item, one word that can stand on its own and make sense. So the example I gave earlier, I said I have a lovely pen. I have a lovely then pen. So we realize that every single word has just one meaning and doesn't make the construction ambiguous with the exception of pen. So the presence of just one word, which is lexical, which is meaningful in itself, is causing the whole construction to ambiguous. So when you see one word in a construction or in a sentence and its presence causes that construction to come out with more than one interpretation, then we'll classify that particular ambiguous construction as a lexical ambiguous construction or a lexical ambiguity, because the ambiguity is as a result of the presence of one lexical item. We can also have a word like bank. So I would want to rest at the bank. I would want to rest at the bank. The bank can be a financial institution or the bank of a river. So if I say that I would want to rest at the bank and you have no knowledge as to whether I'm working at a bank, financial institution, or I have a sea around my area, so I would want to go to the bank of that place, the sea, to go and rest. You have no knowledge of it. You might be confused as to whether I'm going to the bank to rest as I wait for my turn to deposit my money, or I'm going to the bank of a sea or a river to rest. Okay, so the presence of just one word, the lexical item bank, is causing the whole construction to be ambiguous, hence the name lexical ambiguity. So let's move on. We have categorical ambiguity. So categorical, just as the name implies, from our knowledge from word classes, we said that the individual words we use in our construction belong to families. So that the words have been categorized into 9 families or 9 word classes. Then we have the noun, pronoun, those ones. Yes. So for categorical ambiguity, it arises when a particular word is able to function under different word classes. So that particular word can be categorized to different word classes. So example, we have the word like round. So we say that go round the table. Go round the table. Then I saw a round, go round the table. I saw a round table. Then the last construction, the last round was interesting. So I have 3 sentences here. Go round the table. I saw a round table. The last round was interesting. So we have one word, round. the same spelling but in different sentences. So you realize that the first example, go round the table, round there is functioning as an adverb, so it can be categorized under the adverb word class or adverb family. The second one, I saw a round table. Round is modifying table, hence it becomes an adjective, the same spelling, the same word, but can be categorized under a different family called the adjective. Then the last one, the last round was interesting. The last round was interesting. So you realize that round is being modified by last, and we have the to preceding it, so it becomes a noun there. So one word can be categorized under different word classes. Yes, so we have categorical ambiguity when one word can be categorized under different word classes, whereby you don't know which word class a particular. So ordinarily when you hear round, I'm sure the first word class that comes to mind is an adjective. You try forming a sentence with round, like the round table, it will just come off head, the round table. So you classify it, and but then these sentences make us realize that a particular word can be categorized under different word classes, hence causing ambiguity. So you don't know which category that word belongs to, which word class that word belongs to. Let's move on to conceptual ambiguity. Conceptual, that's when a particular word, it's quite similar to the categorical, but this round, the name makes us understand that a particular word can belong or can be referred to different concepts. So one word, but its usage in a sentence would connote different concepts. So we know that concept is something we can't see, but we perceive in our minds. Okay, so the concept of electricity, the concept of stewardship, the concept of like anything you can think of. Okay, yes, so I'll give you examples, then you'll be able to understand well. I charged the battery. I charged the battery. Then the armed robber was charged with impunity. The armed robber was charged with impunity. Then we have the last one. She was charged with student registration. So one word, charged, performing the same function as a verb in all three sentences. However, its usage in all the three sentences have different concepts they portray. So the first one, I charged the battery, you have the concept of electricity. The second one, the armed robber was charged with impunity, a legal concept. The third one, she was charged with student registration, so stewardship or probably responsibility, that's the concept that comes to mind. So one word functioning as the same word class, however it connotes or its usage refer to different concepts. So it makes the one at the recipient and confused as to whether this word is trying to refer to this or is trying to refer to that. That's how come we have conceptual ambiguity. Then the last type, we have the structural ambiguity. That's where our focus is, because most times we all use words in our essays, in our speech, and before you be able to convey your thoughts, you'd have to arrange your words. And if you do not arrange your words well, you might cause ambiguity, thereby creating communication barrier. Because assuming you're talking to a friend, and at every 1 minute the friend would ask you, which one, what are you trying to tell me? So it would disrupt the free flow of the conversation and wouldn't be fun. So we are being taught this so that we'd avoid that. So with the structural ambiguity, it refers to ambiguity that comes about as a result of not putting words well in structures, not putting words well in our constructions or in our sentences. So essentially it's wrong ordering of words, the ordering of words, so wrong ordering of words in construction. Let's look at some examples. You have the Benz saloon car is being sold by a lecturer with ash color. The Benz saloon car is being sold by a lecturer with ash color. So the Benz saloon car is being sold by a lecturer with ash color. So the placement of with ash color at the latter end of the construction makes this construction ambiguous. You are wondering whether the Benz saloon car is the one which is painted with ash, or the lecturer probably has a bottle of ash color with him. So we don't know who is having the ash. Is it the car or the lecturer? Because of the wrong ordering of the words. So if you want to disambiguate this construction, you would have to move the part of the construction that is causing the ambiguity. So I'm saying that the with ash color is causing the ambiguity, so you'd have to move it to whichever position you feel the ash color is supposed to modify. If it's modifying the car, then you move it closer to the car. If it's modifying the lecture, then you introduce something that will make the construction meaningful, so that we'll know that okay, with ash color is actually modifying the lecture, not the car. So we can disambiguate this by saying the Benz saloon car with ash color is being sold by a lecturer. So I've removed the with ash color to where the Benz saloon car is. So we know that it is modifying Benz saloon car, not the lecturer or anything. So the Benz saloon car with ash color is being sold by the lecturer, or the Benz saloon car is being sold by the lecturer who has ash color. So the introduction of the relative pronoun who, we know that the relative pronoun who is referring to a person, because we can't say refer to a thing and use who. The best pronoun will be which. Okay, so the Benz saloon car is being sold by a lecturer who has, so we know that the introduction of who would make us know that ash color is modifying the lecturer and not the saloon car. Then another construction, he ate the meal on the couch. He ate the meal on the couch. Is it ambiguous? I know that probably when you read it a first time you might think that it's so not ambiguous, but when you read it again you realize that it's ambiguous. But he ate the meal on the couch. Is it that the meal was on the couch, or he sat on the couch and ate the meal? So the best way to disambiguate this is he ate the meal while sitting on the couch, or he ate the meal which was on the couch. So meal is inanimate. So the which, the introduction of the relative pronoun which would make us know that okay, it's referring to the meal that is on the couch and not any other meal. Then Ajua enjoys Joe DeGraft more than Ama Ata Edu. Ajua enjoys Joe DeGraft more than Ama Ata Edu. So is it that Ajua enjoys the books or the works of Joe DeGraft more than she enjoys the works of Ama Ata Edu, or that Ajua enjoys the works of Joe DeGraft more than how Ama Ata Edu enjoys the works of Joe DeGraft? So it's either Ajua enjoys the work more than she enjoys Ama Ata Edu's works, or we are comparing how Ama Ata Edu and Ajua enjoy one particular person's works. So Ajua's own is more than Ama Ata Edu's to Joe DeGraft. Yeah, then you can also have visiting friends can be boring. Visiting friends can be boring. It's ambiguous because we want to know whether the act of you visiting friends is boring, or friends who visit are boring. So visiting friends can be boring. Is it that friends who visit are boring, or that the act of you going to visit is boring? So there is no shortcut to identifying ambiguous construction. It comes with practice. So as you practice more, as you read more, you familiarize yourself with ambiguous construction. Immediately you say, you know that okay, this is an ambiguous construction. Okay, so that's basically it for the semester. So thank you so much for watching this.